Hold up, I am on my way, I'm in motion. Let's go to the ocean. Yeah, let's go outside. We can hang out on the beach without freezing. Yeah, isn't that amazing?
Welcome to Crafty Beach. Today, I have a dozen pink flamingo Dollar Tree DIYs for you. I love pink flamingos. This is my second pink flamingo video I've made so far this year. Definitely some of my favorites, and I have some all new pink flamingo DIYs. For the first one, I want to make an indoor pink flamingo. I guess you could also use this on a porch, but what I want to do is make this little pink flamingo into a succulent planter using one of the Dollar Tree like chunky wood signs as the base. I think that will be heavy enough. So I'm going to simply cut an opening in the top of it to make it into a little planter. The plastic on these pink flamingos from the Dollar Tree is really thin, so it's really easy to cut. I have the best luck using a razor blade, and I just cut like a little rectangular shape. I don't want it to be too big. It's not going to require a lot to add some succulents to it. And it doesn't have to be perfect, but I just kind of have the shape that I think is going to work for that. And I also want it to be open because it's going to help me attach the legs. I'm going to replace the wire legs that came with the pink flamingo with some of the wood dowels from the Dollar Tree, attempting to make it stronger to be able to act as a planter. And I think I'm going to be actually using this as a centerpiece, but you could really use this on your porch. You could use it on shelf decor. It turned out so cute. So for the legs, normally they're side by side like that and they have the wires that go out, but they're really not that stable. So I'm going to try to replace it. I just poked two more holes to kind of make them go right there on the seam of the pink flamingo. And I'm just going to paint the wood dowels pink. Now, these are not very long, but I think they're going to be long enough for this project. I'm not going to try to do a knee or anything on this. I really just want some stability to hold the whole thing together. So I just painted a bright magenta pink color. I have looked at pink flamingo legs because there are all different kinds of pink flamingos, and some of them have pink legs, some of them have orange legs. I think they kind of vary depending on what kind of species of flamingo they are. I do like the way that the color that these are, but I thought I would update mine slightly. So I'm taking that same magenta paint color and I am just going all over. I'm not covering everything, but I want it to be different colors of pink. So I put that on the back of the pink flamingo, wiping off any excess with a paper towel. And it's just kind of brightening up a little bit. I'm just trying to be careful not to get any on the eyes and the beak there. I want to leave those. I think those are painted fine. So I just wipe that off if I get any on there. And it added a little bit more punch to the pink. But I'm also going to go over it and distress it a little bit more with some white added to that magenta to give me another shade of pink too, because it has this like really cool texture on there that can be brought out, that feather print. And I'm just using one of those little sponge stencil daubers from the Dollar Tree and dragging that all over to distress my penguin. And one reason I'm doing this is because I want to use this as a centerpiece, I think, for my kitchen table, that it's going to make it look a little bit more like a planter, a sculpture, and less like plastic. You know, the pink is all one color. It's kind of uniform. And so this is what it looks like with a couple different colors added to it. I really like that effect. Now to put the legs together, I really want this to be stronger than the metal legs that come with it. So I'm going to have to find a way to drill into the sign, but first I want to cover it with some faux grass. This is the faux grass from the Easter aisle at Dollar Tree the past couple years. I love it. I'm just going to cut out a rectangular shape, slightly bigger than my sign because there is like a black matting on this that can sometimes show along the edges, and simply cut that out. It's going to give me a faux grass look that makes the pink flamingo look like it's standing in somebody's lawn, which I absolutely love. So once I get that cut out, I go in and try to cut off the excess black parts here from the side, as you can see. That's why you have to cut it a little bit larger than you need. And then I'm simply going to just glue this onto the wood sign. When I drill the holes for the flamingo legs, I'll just have to try to find a way to go through the grass as well, because I really want that to be attached and covering the entire base of the flamingo centerpiece. Now, as far as the legs, I cut little holes with my Cricut weeder, and I'm going back in with a razor blade to cut a couple slits on it. I want it to be really tight. I don't want to cut it too big, but I did find that you do have to kind of cut like an X pattern to make that work. And that is what I did, where I can put the legs in. And since I have the top cut open, I can glue it from the inside. So I add my leg and then add hot glue there on top to start gluing that in place. And I do glue it a couple of times to try to make it really strong. And I'm really impressed with how it turned out. It's probably the most stable pink flamingo DIY I've ever made. But I just added the second leg and I'm adding hot glue to that too. I'm adding a lot of hot glue in there. And I'm going to kind of set that aside, let that sit up. I do want it to kind of go out different ways like that. I think that adds to the pink flamingo look and will look really cute here on the base of the sign. Now, as far as the base of the sign, I do need to drill some holes. I'm using my largest drill bit and my power drill to drill a couple holes. I did have a little bit of trouble going through the grass, but I was able to get it through there. And it cut it, but you can't really see the opening too much. So I just went back in there with just like an ink pen to open that up a little bit so I can actually see where I need to get the wood dowel into it. And I just drilled a hole there for both legs. Now, I did want to make sure that it is really sturdy, so I went ahead and hot glued here on the outside. Not real obvious amount of hot glue, just kind of on the back side there. And I added more hot glue on the inside as well, letting that sit up too, because again, I want that to be as sturdy as I can get it. And I also want this to be really tight. So I'm going to go ahead and use another one of the wood dowels to try to make sure that I have my holes drilled properly before I go to put this together. So I just use a hammer and kind of force those in. I do want it to be really snug. And it seems like I got the right size, so I just add a little hot glue to each one of the holes to help hold it in there as well, and simply put my wood dowels inside. And I think I finally have it stable enough. I think it's going to do a lot better than the metal legs for sure. Now to fill up the planter part, I'm just using foam, and the inside of the flamingo is a lot larger than the opening, so I do just have to kind of cut it down into pieces. I just want enough foam to be added where my succulents are going to stay in place, and I want to try to fill it up as much as I can. So I just cut it down into little pieces and add them separately. I'm going to be adding 3 different succulents. 2 of them are from the Dollar Tree, and one I got at Dollar General the other day. They're actually cheaper at Dollar General. They're only $1, and I kind of like the fact that their stems are smaller because, as you can see, these Dollar Tree ones have some like really large stems on there. Makes it a little bit difficult to get it down inside the foam like that, but I want the taller piece towards the back and the smaller ones in the front. So this is one of the ones I got at Dollar General. Isn't that cute? I love the way it looks and feels. I just went ahead and added that to the pink flamingo as well. And then I finish it off with just a little bit of Spanish moss anywhere where there might be a gap, just to make sure you can't see any foam. And I really like the effect that gives too. But this is how it turned out, my little pink flamingo planter DIY. Again, I'm going to use mine as a centerpiece, but I think this would be really cute summer shelf decor, or even for your front porch. I think it would be fine out there as well. Isn't that so cute? I really love it. I'm glad that I added the colors to the pink flamingo. I think that really adds to it. And the legs are really cute as well. My son thought I should add like one of the little fence signs behind it to make it look like it is in a yard and there's a fence in the yard. And I love that idea, but I also wanted to use it as a centerpiece, so I left it off. Hey guys, if you're enjoying today's video, don't forget to like and subscribe. For the next DIY, I'm going to use some of the pink macrame cord from the Dollar Tree, one of their wooden frames, and one of their burlap canvases to try to make some flamingo string art, if you will. It's the macrame cord. It's not necessarily going to be macrame, but I like to try to make stuff out of it. This little wood sign from the Dollar Tree looks a little bit like rattan. I noticed that the staples fell right off, but that's okay because I'm not going to be using those little staple clips anyway here. I'm going to go ahead and remove those anyway. But it's got a really nice texture. It's probably not as durable as the wood signs I usually use from the Dollar Tree, but I think it will work. And then one of the 5x7 burlap canvases. I know these can be a little hard to find at the Dollar Tree. I think they'd be pretty easy to make with a 5x7 canvas from there. You could just cut the canvas off and add burlap to it. So that is a thought if you want to try to recreate and can't find that. I'm just going to add some hot glue on the inside of the frame and pop that right in. It fits pretty nicely. Again, it's not quite as sturdy as the wood one that I normally use, so I am going to reinforce the corners a little bit with some hot glue just to make sure they don't split, having that kind of wedged in there like that canvas. And this is the macrame cord I'm going to use. I'm going to use it's like a hot pink macrame cord to try to make a string pink flamingo on here. I love these colored macrame cords from the Dollar Tree. I do find that I can only find them at some of my larger Dollar Trees, but I really love them and I always try to pick them up when I can find them. I'm going to double it up. So I kind of folded it in half. That's going to be the beak of the flamingo and then the head, neck coming down. And this is going to be the beginning structure. So I'm going to take it like piece by piece. Since I'm doubling it up, I can use my regular hot glue gun here. If I were just going to be using one piece of it, I need to use like my finer tip hot glue gun because this one does squirt out quite a bit of hot glue, but I'm almost doing like a backwards S shape here for the body of the pink flamingo. And I'm going to have all of my cut ends over here to the right. And I did that on purpose, kind of fluff them up to make them look like the ends of feathers. And I wanted to make sure that I also left enough room for the legs for the flamingo down below. For the top of the flamingo body here, I'm just taking another piece, folding it in half. Again, the cut edges over to the right. And just attaching it with hot glue there, that's going to be the top of the flamingo body. And then I'm just going to go in and fill up the rest of it with similar pieces. I'm just folding it in half, cut edges to the right, and hot gluing that. I do the bottom, then I'm going to go in and do the same thing on the top, and I'm just going to keep filling that in. I do end up layering it a little bit more, you'll see, to make it a little bit thicker, to make it a little bit more 3D. But I really love making string art like this. I think it's so much fun. So one more piece here, and then I have enough room for just like maybe a single piece. And I don't want them all to be exactly the same length. I want them to look a little varied there at the end too, to give that feather look. Next up, flamingo legs. I went ahead and cut a piece longer than I needed, and I'm going to tie a knot for the flamingo little knee. And I think that will be cute, so I can make it kind of go the wrong way like little flamingo legs do. Just trimming that down to size where it will fit. I'm not really going to do anything for the very foot of it. You could tie another knot down there, but I think that would kind of take away from the knee, so I just went ahead and left it as is. And I hot glued it down. For this one, I thought about bending it where one crossed the other, but I ended up making it go straight down too. Like that, like it is standing up. It's looking so cute so far. I was making sure that it still looked good with the burlap canvas with the like kind of cardboard feel of the back of the frame. And that's when I decided to add a few more layers here. As you can see, I worked in like one layer, and I'm going to go ahead and add some pieces here to kind of look like more feathers. It gives it just a little bit more dimension, but super easy to add 3 more pieces of those. And then for the border of it, I'm going to use some more macrame cord. This is just the plain white macrame cord. If this is the only one that you can find from your Dollar Tree, I think you could probably stain or paint it pretty easily to make a pink flamingo if you can't find the pink. And there's other things you could use as well. I'm wondering how pink yarn would work for that. I just bordered that with the white. I like how that looks. And then I'm going to simply hot glue the frame back onto it. And so I can still use that as a hanger or a stand. I'm going to have mine standing up. And then the final touch is I wanted to add a couple of ferns. Ferns look so great with pink flamingos. So I got some greenery from the Dollar Tree that looks very fern-like, but it's also pretty small. I'm going to have a larger piece over here since I kind of have some room for that. Attaching that with hot glue. And I thought about trying to do like a palm leaf with some more string, but I thought it would look better to actually add some faux greenery. So I'm going to cut the piece on this side down shorter. I have less room to work with over here, and I like the varied length of them. And that's all there is to it. We have some pink flamingo string art using the macrame cord from the Dollar Tree. As you can see, it's really fun. Lots of texture, including the burlap. We got that beautiful frame. And I love the addition of like the little palm fronds there at the bottom. Isn't that so sweet? anytime I can use those burlap canvases from the Dollar Tree, I always love the DIYs they create. Dollar Tree needs to be better about getting some more of those in stock for sure. For the next DIY, I'm going to be using one of the Pink Flamingo Aloha signs from the Dollar Tree. I think these are so cute. And I'm going to create a lei garland like wall hanging. Are these new this year, the flower garlands from the Dollar Tree? I've never seen these before. They're one long piece of garland, which is going to work perfect for this DIY. So what I want to do is I want to have like 5 strands of the garland hanging down, making a wall hanging out of it, which could also be used. You could really hang this anywhere. You could hang it almost like a wind chime. Of course, it wouldn't make any noise, or you could hang it outdoors. I think it'd be really cute. I've made a similar DIY with red, white, and blue ones for the 4th of July for a coastal feel. And so, what I'm going to do is I just went ahead and cut the ring off the end. And I'm going to go ahead and staple this on. I did remove like the first flower there to give me a little bit more string. And I simply staple that on. And then I'm going to tie the string on it, double knotting that so that should stay in place. And I went ahead and laid it out to see how many I could make. I wanted to do 5 strands and I want them all to be about the same length. So what I went ahead and did is just folded it like into 5 strands to see if I was going to have enough to do that. And I think that's going to be perfect. As you can see, they're all different shades of pink, and I'm actually going to take that into account, trying to create a little bit of a pattern when I do this. I am going to use 10 here, and I just cut it about halfway in between 2 flowers. I use hot glue to attach the string to the flower and then fold one of the flowers over to make sure that is stronger. I found that's the easiest way to secure these rather than tying a knot there on the end. And then for the next flower, I don't want them to be symmetrical. And so I'm going to remove 1 flower. And that way, like the little bit bolder pink is going to be on the top on this one. So it will be all a little bit random. And there happens to be 5 different colors. So that's going to work out perfectly. I went ahead and measured so they'll be even distance. I found that if I did one every 2.5 inches, that would work out perfectly for 5. So I went ahead and sketched those out here on the back of the wood sign where you won't be able to see them. And again, I'm just using my staple gun to staple those on. The wood frame for this sign is plenty thick enough to be able to use my staple gun. So that worked out perfectly. Double knotting that, making sure I cut off any excess string, and also making sure my staples are in all the way so that's secure just using a hammer. So again, I cut down 10 flowers. If you wanted to do each one of the garlands a different length, that would be really cute too. Like maybe having the one in the middle be the longest would be cute. I thought about that, but I kind of liked the look of them all being the same. For the next row, again, I remove a flower, so I have the next shade of pink here for the next row, and simply tie that off, and we are going to continue that pattern all the way across. These Aloha signs are one of the few pink flamingo items that you can find at the Dollar Tree right now, and I do have another idea for these later on in today's video. Again, at the end, I find hot gluing the string to the flower works the best. This one kind of came off a little bit, but I was still able to make that one work. And then I'm continuing that same piece of garland. Using that garland just made this project so much easier than having to cut the individual leis. But if you can't find it, you could create it with the leis. They have so many this year, and they're so pretty. So many different shades of pink. They have pink glitter ones. They have the big fluffy pink flowers. There's so many fun ideas that you can do with these. This is kind of a basic double flower design, but I like the effect it looks. I think I'm going to use this outdoors for my porch. I think it would be really cute hanging out there and swinging in the breeze. And one more row I have here. As you can see, I didn't go all the way to the end. I want it to be a little bit inward, and that's how I had started it. So that's how I'm going to end it as well. And again, staple, count to 10, cut it off, and glue it to itself. Really easy DIY. Didn't take much time at all to put together, and I really love how it turned out. It's a pretty large piece too, as you can see, so it really makes a statement. It would be a really cute decor for a luau or summer party as well. But you know me, I love the tropical vibes. I'm going to be using it for summer. this is how it turned out. I'm glad I mixed up the shades of pink a little bit like that. I think it looks cute that they're all a little bit different. And let me show you how it looks overall. Really fun DIY. I'm glad I put that one together. For the next DIY, I wanted to see if I could take one of the Dollar Tree pink flamingos and if I could make a pink flamingo mirror. So I have made a pink flamingo wreath where I cut the pink flamingo neck and attached it to a wreath in my last pink flamingo video. And so I wanted to see if I could do that with a mirror. So I'm just going to go ahead and remove the back of this because I want to paint it. And I'm going to be able to put the mirror back together, which was my goal here. So this is what I was thinking. This mirror from the Dollar Tree is not that big. I think it's going to be a perfect body for my pink flamingo. And it's also, you know, going to be a fun mirror. So I am just using a razor blade and cutting it right here at the neck where I think I want it. And it doesn't have to be perfect. You can always shape that up later. It's really easy to cut this down since the plastic is pretty thin. And I'm going to have to almost make a notch for it. So I just cut a little square here where I can work that around the top of the frame. I want to be able to put the mirror back together, so I'm not going to be able to wire it to it or anything like that. And it's pretty lightweight plastic, so I think I can just get away with gluing it on there like that. Now, I do think I need like maybe a small little notch here at the bottom too. I want to leave a little bit of plastic on there to wrap around because I can hot glue that on. And be sure to save your tails if you want to make angel wings out of them. A lot of people have made angel wing DIYs from the flamingo and really cute. So you might want to save that for Christmas or something like that. And then I'm going to paint mine with some magenta. And I had a little bit, I think, of white in there as well. I do have some pink spray paint, and I kind of wish that I would have spray painted it because it took a lot of coats of pink to cover that black. Another thing that might have worked better would be to paint it white first and then paint it pink. I don't know what I was thinking, but it did take way too many coats of this to make it pink. And the only reason that I'm painting the mirror pink is because I'm going to be adding the pink leis from the Dollar Tree for the feathers. But I thought if you could see behind them at all, the black would just be too dark. And so that's why I really wanted it to be a bold pink color. So I just kept adding layers to it until it was covered. And I finally covered up all of that black paint. Now that I have that painted, I can go ahead and start putting this back together. The mirror just fits like right inside. There's really no like notches or anything that hold it on. It just kind of fits right in there. But there are screws that hold the back of it on, and one of the screws has a hanger on it as well. Depending on where you're hanging it, you might need to add a little bit of twine, like a little twine circle to the hanger as well if it doesn't hang great against your wall, because the pink flamingo neck is going to add a little bit of back to it where I have to space it out from the wall just a little bit there. As you can see, it's a little lopsided if I lay one side down. So I'm just going to go ahead and start attaching that by adding some hot glue to the pink flamingo neck and gluing that to the top of the mirror, flipping it over, and I need to add some hot glue back here as well. So you can see that it's going to be away from the wall just a little bit, but I think we can make that work. And I do want to add a piece to it to make it level. So I'm going to add one of the little wood blocks from the crafter square at the Dollar Tree. That's going to be the perfect height to push it out against the wall on this side so it will hang level, but it won't be noticeable. So I just attached that with hot glue to the back. Now for the lei, this is the lei I chose from the Dollar Tree, one of the pink and white ones. I thought this would be really cute. Again, so many options. You can make yours look however you want, but I want the lei flowers to look like flamingo feather. So I'm going to start right here at the neck and hot glue one of the little plastic spacer pieces on there. And on the outer frame, I'm going to go around and do that all the way around. Now, at first I thought I was going to have to go around it twice. That's why I have two leis there. But I ended up only using one because, as you can see, the flowers are nice and fluffy and it covers quite a bit. And it's actually a little bit longer than what I need. So I just work my way around back here to the neck part. And that also covers the transition between the pink flamingo and the mirror and kind of hides the area of how I put it together. So I just cut this one down. hot gluing the string to the flower. And then I'm going to see exactly how much I need. I think right about here. I'm going to glue down another spacer and maybe a few more flowers here to cover up the gap in between the two. I took off the spacer and cut it down to size, adding that back on, and then I'm going to actually tie around that. That's another option you can do to tie these off to make sure that's really secure, and then hot glue that down to the mirror as well. And this DIY was so easy. It was a lot easier than I thought it would be. Painting the pink mirror probably took the most time and you really can't see much of it, but I think it is important because you can kind of see it around the edges. But it's all put back together now. I just cleaned the mirror and this is ready to go. Isn't this so pretty and tropical? Again, I think I'll use mine indoors, but you could probably use it outdoors as well if you wanted a mirror out there. Or, you know what else? You could also not add the mirror back to the back, and it could be a cute little pink flamingo wreath as well. So that's another option for this DIY, but I really love how it turned out. Another fun pink flamingo for my home. For the next DIY, I wanted to make a fun tropical pink flamingo summer wreath. So I'm going to start with one of the square wreath forms from the Dollar Tree. You could also make the circle one if you want. And these beautiful leaf leis from the Dollar Tree. I love these. As you can see, there's two different shades of green, and I want to mix them together for a little variety. So leaving them attached as leis, I'm going to group them two together and do two at a time. That way it's going to mix the two colors of green together. It's going to make it really fluffy. I just find a crossbar and using a zip tie, a small zip tie, I am going to attach it to that so it will stay right in place. The crossbars work so well. And then I'm going to simply start wrapping it around together until I run out of lei, right about there. I found that I needed a total of 8 to cover this large wreath form. So make sure you pick up plenty of these when you're out shopping at Dollar Tree. And again, I just attach it with a zip tie. You can use the zip ties from the Dollar Tree. I think I actually got these small black ones at Dollar General the other day in their like hardware section. They're really inexpensive there as well. And I like the fact that they're all black. So they kind of blend in with this black metal wreath form really well. Again, I start 2 more, mixing the dark green and the light green together and wrapping it around, going around the corner until I don't have any more room. And this is just such an easy way to make a wreath. I have used this material before for a DIY wreath. I think it was for my lemon wreath for summer. And it's just a really fun idea and so easy as for wreath making. Leaving the leis together is the best. Hopefully you won't have any problems with them coming apart. If you do, you can always kind of tie them back together. But just a step saved as putting them together when they're already like this. So again, I have 2 more attached there and I zip tie it and wrap it around. That's when I was like, yep, definitely going to need 2 more. So again, I used a total of 8. So 4 of the dark green leaf garlands and 4 of the lighter green. And I like the variety in shades. You could always do it with one color if that's all you can find, but most of my Dollar Trees have a ton of leis in stock right now. So that is going to be the base. And then I found this great pink flamingo sign that says good summer vibes with a pink flamingo, but it's also got pineapples on there. So I'm going to use the wood beads, the summer wood beads, and the pink flamingo floaty and the pineapple as well. At first I was going to do it all pink flamingos, but since I have some of the pineapple ones as well and there's pineapples on that sign, I'm going to mix the two together. I think this is going to be really fun for summer. I want one of the wood charms in each corner. I'll just save the wood beads for something else. So I'm alternating which corners pink flamingo and which corners are the pineapples. And then I'm just going to simply take some twine and tie them to the wreath form right where I want them. I found that I really had to use twine since they kind of have an ornament hanger in them like that. It was a lot easier than trying to use zip ties or something like that, and it looks a little bit more decorative. So I just go around one of the crossbars again. That way it'll stay exactly where I want it, double tying the twine and kind of hiding that down into the little palm fronds. And I'm going to do that on all 4 corners. If you were doing a round one, you could kind of stagger them like this as well. It's not going to be too busy, but I think it's a fun addition to the wreath when the sign itself is really kind of busy and adds a lot of summer fun to this. This is just another little touch. But I absolutely love how bright and colorful this is with all of those tropical leaves, the bright yellow pineapples on there, and of course the pink flamingo floaties. So this is a pink flamingo wreath, but again, I did add some pineapples in there, of course, because of this great sign, which was my inspiration piece. I just went ahead and cut the hanger in half so I can go ahead and use the twine that's on there, just removing the wood beads, and I can tie that to the metal wreath form, just working my way in here. I didn't have a lot of length, but I had enough to make that work, double knotting that around the wreath form right where I want it. And it's going to cover up the middle part of this wreath form. And it's so cute. I don't think it really needs anything. I don't mind the fact that the pink flamingo and the word good is the pink glitter. I think that's really fun for summer. But the lines were a little messed up on mine. As you can see, they didn't go straight across right here. So I'm just going to go in and start touching them up with a black fine tipped Sharpie. Because I kind of made that really bold there where I made like the double lines to make it go straight across. I did go in each line and try to add a little space that was a little bit, there's more of a gap between the boards to try to even that out. And then it really needs a board right here to kind of make it make sense. So I just drew that one on as well. But otherwise, I left the sign as is. And this is how it turned out. As you can see, it's really big and fluffy, a perfect summer wreath. This would be great to leave up in all summer, or you could use it for, a pink flamingo or a luau party at your home to welcome everybody. But I think it's so bright and colorful and fun. I really enjoyed how this turned out. And here's some more pink flamingo DIYs that I've done here on my channel. Again, a pink flamingo from the Dollar Tree. And since we're going with pink, I decided to use a pink pot as well. This is like a flowers and garden metal pot from the Dollar Tree. I am going to punch some holes in the bottom of this because I'm going to be using this outdoors and I don't want it to like hold water or anything like that. We have enough mosquitoes here in Florida without giving some standing water to them. So I just turned it over and just used a nail and just nailed that through. A really easy way to punch some holes right there in the bottom. And you could do a real plant with this. I'd probably suggest that. I'm going to show you how I kind of do a faux plant with mine, but it would look really cute in an existing plant or just a real house plant that you have. Since this is going outside, I decided to weigh mine down a little bit with some Dollar Tree rocks there in the bottom. And then this is the foliage. Isn't this so pretty and tropical from the Dollar Tree? I thought that'd be a cute little plant. I only have one of them though, so I'm going to have to kind of spread it out to kind of make it look like a plant big enough for this. But I also picked up some potting soil from the Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to use real potting soil in there to kind of make this look like a faux plant. I do go back and end up adding some more gravel to it just because I needed a little bit more to kind of keep everything in place. I don't want this falling apart outside. Now, the plant itself actually had wire in it that was kind of strong. I kind of struggled with cutting these off, but if you kind of bend them back and forth enough, they will break off, but my scissors were not wanting to cooperate there. But I'm just going to cut all of the plant into individual pieces and place it down into the potting soil and the rocks below to make it stand up and make it look like a faux plant. I don't really have a green thumb, but outdoor plants are pretty easy. So if you have a real plant, that would be even prettier. I thought this, though, these tropical leaves like this, really would add to the pink flamingo vibe of this DIY. So I was glad to find these. So I'm just kind of having them be top up like the leaves. And they're actually like really good to condition. Dollar Tree has really upped their game with their greenery and stuff like this. You can find some really high-end looking things for $1.25. A lot of the Dollar Tree greenery used to look really cheap, and some of it still does. But I think these are so pretty. So just cutting these all individually. I did find a pair of scissors that wanted to help a little bit cutting through these because the wire in them were actually thicker than I thought. So I went all around the edges, and then for the final two leaves, I'm just going to kind of fill it out right here in the middle. And this is going to be the base plant for what we're going to do with the flamingo. I thought that the flamingo feathers kind of look like pink flowers. And so I thought we could make our own little like floral flamingo to be sticking out of this tropical plant. I did water my potting soil a little bit just to make it kind of hold everything better together. It was really dry potting soil in there. And then this is the pink flamingo we're going to DIY. I thought we could leave like the neck and head and everything the same, but we could cover like the body where all the feathers would be with some of these dahlias from the Dollar Tree. I ended up using 3 bundles of these, but don't these look a lot like flamingo feathers? I thought that would be so fun to kind of cover the entire body part of it with these flowers. They do have a stem on them already, and so I'm going to actually poke a hole with my Cricut weeder into that soft plastic. Not quite big enough though, so I did have to follow that up with a quick snip of my scissors to make this stem fit in there. And then combined with hot glue, I'm going to punch that into it. And I wasn't going to use hot glue at first, but the stem into that smaller hole like that, it's pretty secure. I think it's going to hold well. So I did one there to the left. I'm going to do another one kind of down here on the bottom part, just kind of using the shape of the flamingo as reference. I kind of figure out where I want it to be. I'm going to have one right above that. And then it's so easy just to poke a hole in those. And then I just snip a small snip just to make it give a little bit, because otherwise it's not going to fit in there. And we can keep building this out. I didn't want it to be too covered. I just kind of wanted to cover all of the surface of it. So I found like a total of 5 of these really covered one side. I'm going to have this like an outdoor decoration. I'm going to want it visible from all sides. So we're going to cover like the entire body with these, which is why I ended up needing 3 of these. But that's what it looks like to start with. Super cute. And so I just flip it over and we can start on this side as well. I'm going to just kind of poke holes and snip and glue each one of these flowers, just like I did on the other side. And then we will actually fill in the top part too, just to make it look like a really fun floral arrangement with a flamingo sticking out of it. I absolutely love how this turned out. It's so whimsical and cute. You can use it for summer decor. You can use it for like luau, any kind of thing like that. You could use it year round. I know I do pink flamingo stuff year round because it's so fun and festive. Now I had 3 of the flowers left. I think a couple of mine have been partials. But that is perfect for filling out the top part of our floral arrangement. It's so cute. I love how this turned out. These are the legs. They're like little metal legs that come with it. They're a little flimsy. You can always upgrade those a little bit if you wanted to, and you can even use like skewers and stuff like that for them, because it's not a very, very big flamingo. And I just kind of push it down into the soil and the rocks, trying to get it in there as steady and secure as I can. It took a little bit of wiggling on there, but I absolutely love how this turned out. It's so whimsical and fun. You can even have the little floral flamingo out in your landscaping and not do a separate pot like this, because look how cute it looks. It looks so much better than it did before. And the addition of those Dollar Tree tropical leaves below, I really think goes with the pink flamingo theme. And how fun we even have like a little pink pot to display it all. I think this is going to look so cute in front of my house this summer. Now, the next item, I used one of these for 4th of July recently and I loved it. They're these new door banners they have at Dollar Tree, and of course they have a flamingo one. It actually says, "Let's Flamingle," and it hangs like on the side of your doorway if you have like a window or not, just on the side of your door. I have a window on one side, so one is perfect for me. But I also live in Florida. It's pretty windy. I want to kind of weigh down the bottom a little bit. I'm just going to use a Dollar Tree ruler for this. I used craft wood on my 4th of July one, and that worked well, but seemed like it was a little larger than I probably needed. I think a ruler is going to be fine. I just cut it down a little bit because it was too long and hot glued it right here to the bottom. And I'm going to hang that next to my front door to show you how cute this is. It'd be great to hang out there for summer, or if you're having any kind of a party this summer. Pink flamingos, you really can't go wrong. This is how it looks hanging in that window next to my front door. Let's flamingo. So easy. I really didn't have to do anything to it, but adding the wood to the bottom definitely helps keep it down. This one says Aloha and has the pink flamingo on it. I thought this would be another fun idea to make like a wind chime. I'm actually going to be making like a wall hanging, like a door chime is what I call them. I love hanging these like on the door, inside or outdoors, but I usually do them on my like door to my garage. I really love that. And it's just kind of a fun idea, but it will look great as a wind chime or a wall hanging as well. So I have picked up 3 more of those pink flamingo wood beads. I love them. And I think I'm going to use them like this. I think I want to do like an odd number. So I'm going to do 3 of the pink flamingos. And then I can use the wood beads for something else, the other 2. And then I thought these coasters they have from the Dollar Tree in the summer section would be perfect. They're like the Monstera leaf too, but it's like a green felt. So I don't know how well those would hold up outdoors. They might do okay. They're pretty thick. I'm going to have mine indoors though, so I think that they'll be fine. But you can kind of hang whatever you want from yours. Just get creative. I just cut mine off a little bit longer, so I have a little bit extra twine here, and tie that off here to the left side of our Aloha sign. It has wood beads on the hanger of it too, so it's all going to go really well together with this. I'm going to cut this one off using the same amount of beads as that one. I want the 3 flamingos to be all like the same length. Depending on how many of these you're going to hang though, you can kind of mix them up. Make them go longer in the middle or on the sides or whatever, however you want. I'm going to have the Monstera leaves be shorter, so I wanted the pink flamingos all to be about the same. So I'm trying to leave my excess beads on there so that I can reuse that when I use those to hang the leaves on this. And we're going to tie this one off just right over here. I'm not going to glue these down or anything. I'm going to have them where they can kind of freely move left to right when I can kind of go in there and center them a little bit more. Now I kind of want to repeat the same like bead pattern. And so I kind of need to go like this way, light pink, white, darker pink. So I flip it around like that and just tie this to the coaster to the leaf stem so that that will hang down. And then I just have to determine how long I want it to be. Again, I said I wanted these to be shorter, so I think I'm just going to kind of lay it out to see what I like. And then again, cutting the twine longer and just pulling the beads off. That way you have twine left to tie it on there. You might want to give yourself a little bit more room. If you cut it too short like this, it can be a little bit difficult tying it on. But I was able to make it work. And one more, because I like to do odd numbers, so we're going to take it from 3 to 5. I think it just looks better for sure. So this is some of the other arrangement. I'm going to do kind of the same thing with the same amount of beads in the same order. And I just tied this one off like this before I attached my leaf. And that way I can kind of move everything around, get everything centered, level out my beads exactly where I want them to be before I go in there and attach my final coaster. I love these coasters from the Dollar Tree. I hardly ever use them for coasters, but I love using them for DIYs. They have them in lots of different seasons, and they're really just a fun craft material. So I'm going to hang it just like that. If you kind of push the stem inside the wood bead, it kind of makes the leaf hang a little bit straighter. But let me show you how it turned out. This is how it looks hanging on my door to my garage. So cute. They also have those signs in like a pineapple design, which I picked up. I'll have to be doing some pineapple DIYs this summer. I love that. It's so cute. And a little door chime, wind chime, whatever you want to call it. I think it's fun. Another fun idea that you can do with those little wood bead garlands. Okay, the next DIY, we're going to make a fun little flamingo sign. This is going to be using some of the wall shelves. This is going to be kind of an indoor decoration, but I guess you could use it outdoor as well. We're going to be using some paper on it though, so you might have to be a little bit careful how you seal it to make that hold up. But I found this really great idea of making like little driftwood wood chip flamingo. So I wanted to see if I could pull that off. So we're going to use 2 of these long skinny signs from the Dollar Tree. I love crafting with these. I just removed all the hangers off of them. And we're going to use that same rope to just, make a hanger. So I hot glue mine together side to side like this just to make a small sign. I like crafting with these and also the thinner like real wood shelves from the Dollar Tree because you can combine them together easily like that and make a sign any size you want and you're going to have a nice blank. So using that same rope that came with the shelves, I just made a simple hanger. Then for the flamingo, they have these little paper shapes every summer at Dollar Tree. So we're going to pick one out because I need it for like the neck, the head, and the legs of my flamingo. It's kind of like a little cheater piece. This one seems to fit a little bit better on the sign we're going to make. So we're going to go with this one. I don't need the body of the flamingo. I just need like the flamingo legs and again the neck. So it's just paper so you can kind of cut it exactly how you need it. You could Mod Podge this. I actually just went ahead and hot glued mine on. It's kind of a cardboard material, so it actually held up really well to that. And here is the neck and the head. Kind of figure out where it should be, and then we can just get rid of the body part. We're not going to need that. These are what we're going to use for the feathers. These are the wood slices from the Dollar Tree. They have these like in the circles, they have them in the wedges, and they have them in the sticks. These are like the wedge pieces. I find them from time to time at Dollar Tree. They always seem to go so fast. So if you see them, grab them because they are so fun to craft with. I've made so many different things with these. But they make perfect feathers. Look at that. I take 3 of them and hot glue them down here for the back part of the feathers of my pink flamingo. And then we're going to do 3 pieces here. You're going to want to kind of lay them out, see if they're the right size, if they're going to fit together well. And I hot glue it to the sign, and then I'm also hot gluing it to the piece, the wood slice right behind it to make sure that it's good and secure. And then we're just going to keep kind of building this out to create the entire body of the pink flamingo. We're even going to add some color to it as well. Some of them are a little skinnier than the other ones, and I kind of like switch them up a little bit here to try to make this work for the right shape. So I did 3, 3, and then 3 again. And then I thought I could finish it off with 2 to kind of make the front part of the body a little bit skinnier, kind of make it look kind of rounded there. And then to add color to it, we're just going to be using acrylic paint. I was trying to see if I had any other things in there that would be cute. And they do have these little tropical leaves. It kind of hangs off my sign a little bit, but I like the look of it. So I'm going to attach one of those as well. Why not? To kind of fill up that area at the top. You could always add some real greenery as well. That'd be really cute. And I really don't want like the excess holes here on the bottom. So I'm going to take some of that existing hanger from the shelf. And I'm just going to kind of fill it in, but it's really not going to serve any purpose other than kind of like filling these holes and making it look uniform with the top. For the color, I'm using like a salmon color and one of those chunky brushes from the Dollar Tree, and just distressing the top slice of all of the wood slices to really bring that pink color in there. And you can mix it up. I did like some of the soft pink as well, just to give a little bit of contrast. And then you can kind of blend those all in, kind of get it however, what color you want. I just wanted to add some color so it wasn't just wood on wood all blending in. Don't be afraid to paint these. They can turn out really cute, and it really goes with the pink flamingo vibe of this sign. I think it's really fun. Again, I use this for indoor decor, so if you're going to want it outside, you might consider painting the head, neck, and legs onto the sign. It might hold up a little bit better. And you might have to use a stronger glue too than hot glue to keep those wood slices on. But I thought it was really whimsical and a fun idea to make a little driftwood looking flamingo. We're going to be using those paper cutouts again. And we're going to use some of this tropical wallpaper from the Dollar Tree. That's my favorite design. The blue with the green leaves all over. For this sign, we're using just a Dollar Tree chalkboard. They're nice and thick where they don't really bow very much. And we're going to cover the whole thing with some of this wallpaper. Whenever I'm lucky enough to find this wallpaper at Dollar Tree, I always try to buy a ton of it because I love it. It's my favorite. I use it for every season, including Christmas for DIYs, but I've had trouble locating it lately, which is ridiculous because this was my very favorite. I think this is the most pretty one that they have, but I did the entire background with that. And it's a chalkboard that hangs vertically. We're going to keep that kind of design. So I just use my Cricut weeder to poke some holes back through the wallpaper so that I can then make an easy hanger for this. I'm just going to use some twine. I think this is some twine from Walmart. We're going to feed it from the back, knotting it here in the front. And we're going to make a really easy hanger for this DIY. This is going to be another really fun, whimsical sign for summer or for a party. I really had a lot of fun putting this one together as well. So again, we're going to be using the paper cutouts. They always seem to have pink flamingos. They have like different colors, sizes, and it's a nice large flamingo. I think that's going to look really cute there on that chalkboard sign. So just making sure that fits well. I'm going to go ahead and Mod Podge all over the back of it. We're going to Mod Podge this to the wallpaper. And kind of flatten that all out. I don't know which worked better, the hot glue or the Mod Podge. It did kind of bleed through a little bit, the Mod Podge, so you might actually be better with the hot glue, but I'm going to Mod Podge all over everything, and that seemed to kind of seal everything, fix the problem. You're not going to have to worry about that like paper flamingo peeling off in the future. And that looks so tropical and cute. Now, this is the fun idea I had for this one. I thought we could bring in one of the grass skirts from the Dollar Tree, and we could have like a little luau flamingo by giving the flamingo a grass skirt. I thought that'd be really fun. Now, this is, of course, like a larger, like maybe even a child size one, but I'm just kind of trying to figure out exactly where a grass skirt would fit on a flamingo. So I kind of cut it and kind of work with it until I'm happy with it. But I just kind of cut down a little grass skirt for it. And then I'm like, I don't want it to kind of cover up everything. I still want you to be able to kind of tell that it's a pink flamingo. I'm going to go ahead and shorten it right now. I'm using, you know, the twine that it's tied onto to make the top of the grass skirt hold everything together. We can use the rest of that raffia for something else. I love crafting with it. But I thought it was a little bit too wide, so I'm going to shorten it a little bit here to make it not quite so crazy. I think that looks a little bit more to scale with our little flamingo. Again, I gave it a quick trim because I thought it was still a little bit too long, and now we just have to attach the little grass squirt. I'm just going to attach the little knots on the side of the twine that's holding it on, and with a little dot of hot glue on each side and a little bit in the middle so it all stays flat against the sign. And I think it's looking really whimsical and fun. What do you guys think? I wanted to do some words on there, so I'm going to use some of the Dollar Tree Scrabble letters, and we're going to spell out hello summer. I thought that would be fun, and you know, the wood color of the Scrabble tiles looks really good with that same color of the grass skirt. So we're just going to hot glue these up here, this area of the sign that doesn't have a lot going on it, to kind of finish off the vibe of this. Just a little dot of hot glue. I did like summer like straight across, just kind of evenly spacing out my letters. And then I kind of like these being a little bit crazier. So I'm going to go like up, down with the hello word to kind of make that look a little bit more fun. And there it is, our little hello summer pink flamingo in a grass skirt sign. Super cute. I decorated my house for summer with this, but it would also be really cute for a party as well. Pink flamingo and luau theme for a party is always one of my favorites. Really fun idea. And I love the addition of the little grass skirt. It just makes me smile. Okay, this is actually a Goodwill find. Isn't this so tropical and cute? It looks like it was regularly $50. I got it for a couple dollars at Goodwill. So I think this is a perfect find to decorate my front porch with that pink flamingo theme. It has kind of a concrete pot, and I'm going to decorate it with pink flamingos from the Dollar Tree. So these are like the little string ones. They have birds, flowers, and you guessed it, little pink flamingos, little cutouts. So a fun way you can take these and kind of customize stuff just using items from the Dollar Tree. It's going to be kind of a tight fit on here, but I think we can make it work just by Mod Podging that on. I know Mod Podge, like regular Mod Podge like this, doesn't always hold up well to the weather. It's going to be kind of on a covered part of my porch, so I think it's going to be okay. And it seemed to hold up pretty well. But if you're going to have it out more in the weather or anything like that, and I really would suggest like the dishwasher safe Mod Podge. It's worked really well for my 4th of July yard stakes that we made here on my channel. Or spraying it with some kind of a polyacrylic sealer or something like that. I just used lots of coats of Mod Podge on this and hoped for the best, and it actually did a pretty good job. It's not really a permanent addition to it. I can always peel that off if I want to in the future. But here it is, my fun little Goodwill find. You never know what you're going to find. Sometimes the stuff at Goodwill is way too expensive, but sometimes you can hit a deal just right. And it looks really great out next to my front door on my little tropical table that I got at Target. Isn't that so cute with a little pink flamingo on there as well? Okay, I promised you guys another flamingo wreath, and here it is. This is one of the first ones I did here on my channel. You can notice with the blue background, and again, we're starting with a large wreath form from the Dollar Tree and some of these fern plants. What I noticed is that the leaves are different. You can see some are like long and dark green, and some are lighter green and shorter. So I just went ahead and separated everything, pulling everything apart, so I would have it all available to work with to start building this out. And we're going to use zip ties to try to attach these to this wreath form, and I just kind of want to use those, alternating them. I'm going to do a bundle of like 2 of the longer ones, 1 of the smaller ones, all together like that. So it can kind of speed the process up a little bit by doing 3 at a time, and I just zip tie them. I'm using like those smaller black zip ties from the hardware section at Dollar Tree. They're really a nice size for wreaths because they're nice and small like this. And we can kind of scatter those out. The smaller fern piece kind of has like a detail there at the end, which is great, but I just kind of wanted like the different variations in colors. I wanted this to look really tropical, and we're going to be adding, you guessed it, a pink flamingo to this one as well. So this is kind of my bundle method. As you can see, it's holding the stems onto the wreath form pretty well, but this is a pretty long leaf. So I am going to have to further kind of shape this up and attach that to the wreath form so these don't go every which way. But I'm just using that center wreath form to get it started, attaching it there, and spreading the leaves out, which kind of covers, you know, the entire wreath form. And we're just going to keep doing that all the way around. I kind of lost track of how many ferns I used. I'll have to look that up. And put the last one right here. I did have extra pieces of the fern left over, so you can always go back and kind of add more if you want to any areas that need it. This is the floral wire from Dollar Tree. I'm going to use this to help shape everything up, keep all the leaves in place, but it's going to kind of blend in with that green color. It's not going to be super noticeable. And we're just going to wrap that around, kind of feeding it in and out of leaves and stuff like that. And this really seemed to stabilize everything. The zip tie worked to attach it, but it wasn't great for, you know, keeping the round shape of the wreath form. So I just wrapped that all the way around, going in and out of the leaves, at least making sure one is kind of bound to the wreath form so they don't wiggle around. And just tying that off here on the back, you can kind of see how much wire I actually had to go in and use for this. and it's looking tropical. Some of the leaves are a little bit bent up like that. I have found that if you use some of like a heat gun, you can kind of iron those back in place a little bit. And then I'm just kind of filling up any gaps I see with an extra leaf. If I see a place that needs a little bit more, I just add one of the extra leaves and a zip tie to it, kind of working that all together to make it nice and fluffy. Now for the pink flamingo, we're going to be using one for this wreath DIY. And I do want to bring out the texture. I don't really want to custom paint this one though. So I'm just going to distress it to try to bring out that texture. I just used like an ivory. I was going for like a coastal feel on this one. So I just kind of wanted it to look kind of coastal distressed like this. So that is another option that you can use to kind of DIY these little plastic pink flamingos. And you can see it does, just dragging it over it just brings out that texture. I'm just following that up with a baby wipe just to kind of, blend it in. Make sure it's not too much distressing, just a little bit. Also on the neck and the head of it as well. And it just added a little bit more detail to the plain pink plastic. And then I just need to attach it to the wreath form. This one I actually didn't poke a hole. I actually just used twine. And I'm just going to kind of patch that to the bag. I'm thinking that the wire is probably a little bit sturdier. I just used a little bit of hot glue, some twine, and a little bit of Dollar Tree burlap ribbon to kind of make a little patch. Hot gluing it all over. You're not going to be able to see back there anyway. And then I can just tie that off to our tropical wreath. I want it to kind of be over here on the bottom right side. So I just kind of sit that where I want it. Taking that twine and bringing it around the back, and we can just tie it to the wreath form. I'm also going to be adding a sign to this wreath with a fun little saying on there, and we're going to try some like faux wood burning with that one with this fun marker or paint pen that I got on Amazon. So that looks cute. This is the sign we're going to use. It's one of the hanging shelves from the Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to go in and remove the rope there from the bottom. We can leave the rope on the top to use to attach to the wreath form. And this is the paint pen I was telling you about. It's a wood burning pen. And I wanted to show you how fun this was. It's so much easier than wood burning. I'm just going to kind of freehand what I want it to say. I thought since there was a flamingo on there, it would be really fun to do welcome to my nest on a wreath for my front door. So just trying to kind of freehand that out just with cursive handwriting. And then you go back with a heat gun or a blow dryer and it turns dark, making it look like it's actually wood burn. And it actually worked pretty well. I was kind of impressed with it. If you want it to be darker, you can add more heat. You can also go back in with your paint pen and kind of touch up any places that you think needs a little bit more. Go back in there with your heat and touch that up as well. I thought it was really whimsical and fun, and a fun way to personalize a wood sign like this from the Dollar Tree. So I left the hangers on there, so I already have the twine. I can wrap that around the wreath form and tie it off. And I kind of decided I liked it like this. So knot it on the front, pull it around the back, and then we can knot it in the front to attach it to it. And then that kind of takes care of those holes on the sides and actually makes them functional. And you're using that rope that came with the shelf as well. And then I just kind of finished mine off with a very light distress of that same ivory chalk paint that we used to distress our flamingo, just to give it a little bit more of a coastal feel. And that's like on the top left kind of corner of the wreath, kind of offset. And this is how it turned out. This is how it looks on my front door for summer. I think it's really fun. Very whimsical, very tropical with those leaves from the Dollar Tree. And another fun idea that you can use those pink flamingos for. I love it. I think it's really cute. I really hope you enjoyed these 12 Pink Flamingo Dollar Tree DIYs. I had such a great time making the new Pink Flamingo DIYs and putting this video together for you. Please let me know which Pink Flamingo DIY was your favorite down in the comments below. And don't forget to check out my second channel, Crafty Little Beach, for individual DIYs on your phone.
Side by side we sway there in all the colors. Summer love, lonesome dove, folded on the lawn chair in all the colors. Summer love, remember when we were getting nowhere fast, when the garden won't stop giving back. Honeysuckle, fresh cut grass. I could really use some stuff like that. Talk to me and tell me all that you've seen, all the colors. Summer love, memories washed in every shade of green in all the colors. Summer love, remember the lazy river day canoe, bathing in the turquoise blue, losing track of time with you. Another beach pie sunset view, sleeping in the afternoon. No place to be and nothing to prove. That's sure something I could use. A cure for the air conditioned blues. Could use some too. A little bit of summer love.
Thank you so much for making it all the way to the end of today's video. I also want to give a huge thank you to all of my YouTube members for supporting my channel. Thank you so much to Melinda Elizabeth, Jamie Job, Susan Edmonds, Janae Farrington, Pamelia Wren, Donna Schreiner, I Am Mojo Jojo, Marin Christensen, Adrian Brult, Donna Tanner, Kim Rogers, Maria Cruz Pagan, Powell Puppy Life, Renee Albanese, Lori Hollingsworth, Mindy Hupp, and Jenny. Thank you so much for supporting me. I really appreciate it. If you would like to become a Crafty Beach Bum member, all you have to do is hit the join button on the computer, or I think you can do it on your phone as well. You're going to get early ad-free access to my content here on YouTube, a badge next to your name when you comment down below, and a shout out in every video, and I really appreciate it. Also, we would love to see what you've been crafting. Be sure to share your DIYs with us in our private Facebook group, always linked in the description of my videos. I also have my Amazon shop and other things always linked as well as chapters and a full description of today's video. If you would like some more tropical Dollar Tree DIYs, be sure to check out one of these videos right here. And until next time, happy crafting!